Okay, so part two on these of what I was just talking about. So we were talking and stuff like that. We were talking to Kevin and Tiffany and all of our friends, or all of my friends at the time.
I was gonna say they were just your friends, they weren't mine.
My friends at the time. And so we go to school and I show her the ways of how the school goes and what we did. So she sat with me. Well, no, technically I sat over by Mr. R. And I even asked her, I'm like, do you want me to sit by you? You know, you're new here and stuff like that. And she's like, no, I'd just rather sit by myself. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
That's how I was.
So I sat in the front because I couldn't really see because I had my glasses, but my glasses were the wrong prescription. So I'm sitting there, and then Mr. Art, after our CNN student news that we did, me and Michael, which is one of my friends, would walk out and go to our buses.
I was like, wait, where are you going?
we went to what we called work, which is culinary arts. I'm there for 3 hours a day. And mind you, I'm doing dish tank for 3 hours a day. So it was me, Zach, and Michelle's doing dish tank because we were assigned to the second years, which is us. All the second years, except a couple, was doing dish tank. Me and Zach were talking about campus stuff like that, and I told Zach, I'm like, we have a new student, and I think I know who she is. I absolutely 100% know who this girl is, and so I was going through the memories of when I went to camp. Well, I'm like, Zach, that girl went to camp with me at one point, and I know exactly who she was. And so when I got back from school, I put my bag down and stuff like that because, my shirt was wet and stuff like that, and I had to go change. I went to go change. Come back from changing, and I'm like, just a curiosity. Canada, yep. Prairie Sound, yep. Tim Hortons camp, yep. Mockingjay. Angela? Hey, Alex! It was like, my teacher's like, you know each other.
We almost knocked each other down after we realized who we were. Like, if it wasn't for that wall, we would have fallen.
Like, we literally hugged each other. Like, tightly. So, my teacher my teacher's like, okay. So, we had to write about our spirit animal. My spirit animal is a panda, obviously, because, my nickname is Panda. And she did hers, and I did mine, and we did the same one. And our teacher thought we were twins.
No, I did bear. You did panda bear. You did a panda bear. I did a bear. And he was like, that's kind of funny that you two did it. You guys did it, like, almost the same animal.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah. And they thought we were twins because, they thought we were twins. And we were not, but...
But from that day point on that we figured out who we were and actually got reconnected, we were inseparable. Like, she was at my house, or I was always at her house, or the weekends that we weren't together, we were always on the phone, always on video chat.
What do you mean we were never not together?
Yeah, we were.
Always together.
No, we weren't.
The day that your mom said you had to come home, you told your mom that you were going to church and didn't end up coming home.
No. I'm talking about before I moved out.
Oh, I didn't talking about that.
Anyway, so my birthday was... Well, it was after my birthday party, and it was a weekend that she came over to help me with my ankle, because, you're...
No, I spent the night at your birthday, too.
She spent the night at my birthday, too, but we were just friends. And so, after that, she was hanging out, I didn't go to school that Friday, because... Your girl fucked up her ankle doing I didn't go to school I didn't come back to that. I went from first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and 6th hour, all in culinary arts because they pulled me out of the program for that day.
Yep.
And then having to do a after-school program, or after-school event that ran from 9:30 to 10. So, I was on my feet all day long doing dish tank. And so when we did dish tank and stuff like that, I literally went home to the point where my back was killing me. My hands were literally like wrinkled so bad. And it was a night that my mom was doing a Halloween thing for my brother. They went trunk or treating. Well, we had to take my at that time, my best friend Zach home. We gave him a ride home that day. So we took Zach home, and then my mom switched him to get in the front seat again and told Zach that I loved him and talked to him later because he's my best friend. And I went home. I ate. I had to take a bath because I couldn't even stand in the shower. Went upstairs, took some ibuprofen and Tylenol, and then went to bed. I got up that morning to go to school. I couldn't move. I could not walk. Like, I tried to stand up, I fell. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to school. I hurt too much. Told my mom, like, I cannot go to school today. It hurts. So, she was blowing up. I went back to bed. She was blowing my phone up. I mean, I was getting text after text, calls after calls, and I to the point where I couldn't even sleep. So I answered it half asleep, I'm like, hello. And she's like, best friend, where you at? I'm like, home, I hurt my foot. She's like, you did what? I'm like, she's like, did you do what I told you not to do? I'm like, well, what did you not tell me to do? She's like, I told you not to overdo yourself. I'm like, well, I kind of did. So I'm on my way. I'm like, no, you need to go to school. Even when I told her not to come back, noon, I get a phone call, hey, I'm on my way. What do you want from Speedway? She brought me candy, Bang, and extra strength painkillers from her mom. Thank God. Thank God for that. But this was the night of.
Yeah.
I was sitting there playing video games, and she was laying on her stomach, and she was, at that time,
I was pregnant.
Pregnant with a baby. Well, she's not supposed to be laying on her stomach, and she was. And I'm like, get off her stomach, best friend, you're gonna hurt the baby and stuff like that. She's like, no. I'm like, so she started mumbling on her breath. She's like, I like this girl in our class. I'm like,
that was stupid.
There's the only one girl in that class. I'm like, who is it? She's like, I'm not telling you. I'm like, I'm the only one in class. Do you like me? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, do you want to hear something funny? She's like, what? I'm like, I like you too. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And then, so she moved over and I went to cuddle her. I asked her if she wanted to cuddle because the baby was hurting her and stuff like that.
Baby, shut the fuck up.
And I put my hand on her stomach, and literally the baby would literally roll up into my hand, literally, like, yeah. But so I kissed her. I'm like, are you sure you want to be? Are you sure
Are you sure this is what you want?
This is what you want? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so this is what I want too. So we got together, and I'm like, what are we gonna do about our exes? She broke up with my ex, and I broke up with hers. And then both of us post on Facebook that we were both all ours, as in she was all of mine and I was all of hers. So that is the story on how me and my beautiful, sexy, amazing wife got together. She has been through everything with me since then. We've almost soon to be close to being 3 years together and 2 years engaged. And so it's funny because our engagement day is before our actual anniversary day, which we got together. Our anniversary day is 7/12/2020.
And it's 3 days, or 2 days after my birthday.
2 days after her birthday, because that was her birthday present from me.
Would you look at
Oh, me and her sister planned it and stuff like that while we were painting the stuff or whatever. The ring came in the day of my appointment, and Carol gave that box to my wife. And I told her, no, don't open it. And I told Carol she's a blonde, because at that point she was a blonde. And I'm like, no, don't do that, don't do that. And so I went to the bedroom, her mom's bedroom, and I showed Mom, and Mom's like that, you know, she's gonna love it and stuff like that. Well, this is the ring that I got her. That's the engagement ring.
It has a birthstone.
It has mine and her birthstone. Her birthstone's the red one, mine's the pink one. Which I think is really cool because her favorite color is pink. And so her name is on her birthstone. And my name's on my birthstone. And then inside of it, right in there, see the black right there? It says my forever queen on it. It is out of shape as a motherfucker though. It is bent, but it's fine.
Is it really?
Not really, but it's...
Oh shit, it
is. But, yep. It's the engagement ring that I got her. I didn't put it on all the way. So, that is the story. And hopefully I'll be able to post this. So, I will talk to you guys later and have a great day. Love you guys. Bye.